Hello, and welcome to Twizlight's Task. Today we will be looking at Rollers of the Realm. Rollers of the Realm come to us from Phantom Compass, a company that bills itself as "We're game makers, well-traveled trailblazers, and pathfinders. We guide brands and agencies to new ground in the world of surprise and delight." While I'm not completely sure on what all of that is supposed to mean, what I do know is this: Roller of the Realm seems to be a solid title. Rollers of the Realm is what you would get if you picked up a simple role-playing campaign and shoved it inside of a pinball machine. Upon first kicking it in, I instantly got vibes of something along the lines of the Sonic Spinball game for the Sega Genesis. Thankfully, they expanded upon the ideas within that game. The levels of this game are sometimes multi-tabled, other times just a single screen, and while not very far into it, I can tell this pinball game offers much more than what meets the eye. Multiple characters are yours to unlock and collect through this game, starting with the rogue and her dog, which has to be recovered soon after starting the game, a knight, who is also a drunk, and a healer, which we will say is not a cleric since she is all about nature instead of God. Each character is represented by a ball, and they all have different sizes, effects on the table, and a different ability that you can activate by paying mana. The rogue, for example, upon hitting an NPC from behind, can steal some money from the character, and she can spend her mana to summon her dog. The knight is a much larger ball, able to do more damage than the others, and can also block the space between the bottom flippers with his shield ability. Like in all pinball games, this one does seem to suffer a bit from the problem of "I can't seem to hit the right spot on the map, and why oh why can't I do it?" But by having different ball sizes and weights, there is something to help you with this. If you can't seem to get the knight to the end of the table, switch to the rogue and watch her fly right up there. Added to that is a movement mechanic tied to the character's agility stat that lets you guide them to the left or to the right, and unlike traditional pinball, you won't run the risk of a tilt. Artistically, this is a vibrant game. Everything stands out very well, no murky textures or cases of "I wonder what this item could possibly be." The voice acting for the characters does range a bit, from great in the case of the rogue to somewhat phoned in the case of a ranger. The world, however, does feel contextually cohesive. It all fits together and it all looks like it belongs in the same game. The Sonic Spinball vibe that was initially released from this game comes in the fact that on many tables there is a maze or a sequence of things you must do to proceed. Lucky for us, Rollers of the Realm has a great viewing angle. You can see everything right where you need to. And as of yet, there hasn't been a moment where moving up or down the table is met with cheap placement or annoying obstacles. Instead of having to worry about hit points for the characters, you only have to worry about dropping them down the drain, which knocks them out and puts you back on the ball launcher. Reviving the character isn't a problem, however. Early in the game, when you collect the healer, she can heal a character with the full mana bar. Hit points do come into play, however, when it comes to the flippers. Some enemies are able to do direct damage to the flippers. However, recovering them is not a problem, as all you have to do is collect mana as the healing ball. To collect mana is just a matter of bouncing your character around the table, hitting everything you can, and eventually mana just seems to flow in. Some enemies, rats, bats, any vermin for the most part, will actively take away mana, but hitting a torch, running over
here, we
a
have the knight using
campfire,
his shield
hitting the
ability to keep
bumpers
the
will
pit.
all restore mana. Covered. Now, we will use him just to destroy the last of the enemies to complete this area. Right here can be a moment of, oh wow, I can't seem to believe I can't hit these items, as the gravestones are making it quite difficult to get to where we need to be. With the knight out of commission, having fallen down the pit, we will move right on to the cleric. Using her, we'll hit the gravestones, get the blue numbers to indicate the mana, bring her down, hold her, and then get to the knight, switch to him, hit revive, and I will immediately drop him back down just to prove I can. To try to combat this next time, we'll take our time. Switch to the ranger, and just use him and his range attack to easily take care of the enemies. His ability uses the falcons, which is another multi-ball much like the dog. I'm not much for multi-ball. Usually I will just hold on to one until I start dropping them. Now with both balls on the table, I will focus primarily with the ranger. The falcon will just kind of be a side. Losing the knight and ranger, we will now switch to the rogue. And using her ability to summon the dog, we will bring a second ball onto the table. She doesn't do as much damage as the knight, but she is faster and much easier to control. The dog is also very effective at attacking enemies. In some cases, can get stuck as seen and just destroy them. With all enemies cleared, the bottom is now safe to fall down, which we will actually do just to speed this process along. Once again, this is a level where it may be difficult to get to where you need to be. Opening up the side path, dropping through and down, we will progress. Now for this, we will take a moment to go back a bit farther. This will be the level where you collect the cleric. This one was designed for just the rogue and the knight, though we have extra characters now. The knight is much harder to get through these narrow openings as opposed to the rogue. However, the knight is destroying these enemies fairly effectively. Of course, if you're bad at pinball, that won't save you much. Sending out the healer once more, and losing her immediately, it would seem. We'll move to the ranger. This was the moment where I encountered the only bug I've had so far with this game. Tossing him around, spinning him, trying to get him where we need to go, I managed to actually get him stuck. Like I said, this does remind me a lot of Sonic Spinball, in the fact that it's a maze, there are objectives, but it's not nearly as obscure as Sonic Spinball was, trying to collect Chaos Emeralds you couldn't usually find or see. And there's no horrible sounds like there were in the first level, when that little dragon underwater would hop up and scream at you. This is where I encountered that problem of the ball just getting stuck. Thankfully, with the tilting mechanic to move him left and right, it was a matter of just wiggling back and forth until he was freed. This level does demonstrate one of the problems this game has, is it's not always clear which button will trigger which set of bumpers. There are only 2 buttons for bumpers like in all pinball tables, however this one has many more bumpers than seems to be typical. Here we forgot there was one on the side right there. Upon remembering it though, it's very simple to clear the level. This is not a bad game. I did enjoy it and I would recommend it to many people. It is available on the PC, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation Vita. It's worth a download, you should look at it. Thank you guys for watching, have a great day.